Welcome back to your latest industry recap, where American Airlines has big Boeing 777 news. Next, Swiss entering a new era. And the A220, it's in a bit of trouble. Why not begin there, where A220 groundings are continuing, and reports indicate that the figures are very poor, making this a troublesome series for many airlines. Available data highlighted that in mid-October, 79 A220 planes were out of service, representing over 20% of the global fleet. For aircraft operators, while the figure of exactly 22% of the global fleet is bad news, it doesn't reflect the full picture, as more maintenance and associated inspections are required in the short to medium term for existing engines, meaning that this figure is going to continue to change and has every possibility of creeping up further. The result of the Pratt & Whitney GTF crisis, while a lot of the time is focused in on the A220 fleet lately, as that is where we've had the most commentary from, it is also on the A320 family, including that of the Brazilian plane makers E2. A large portion, therefore, of aircraft remain grounded across many aircraft programs because the engines intended to power these planes have either been stripped and sit in hangars or require parts for maintenance that just can't be obtained on time. For airlines, this is frustrating, especially given that aircraft with Pratt & Whitney GTF engines are on paper not just efficient but flexible, agile, and well suited to a wide array of routes. But their reliability is where concerns are being raised, as these spend more time on the ground than in the air. And for a brand new aircraft, this isn't ideal. On the passenger side as well, the state-of-the-art planes receive strong positive feedback, feature the latest cabin amenities, but they have been a problem child since really the moment they entered service. And for airlines, this causes quite a wide variety of feelings. For example, Swiss is moving ahead with the grounding of its A220-100s in order to make sure the A220-300 can stay in the air. Air Austral has removed the A220. It is moving ahead with the A320neo for its future flying. This a pretty major decision from the company. As for Korean Air, earlier this year, they said that they were feeling the impact of engine woes, with more than at the time 40% of the A220 fleet on the ground, forcing quite a stress fest as they had to reshuffle their network to better combat the capacity shortages driven by the groundings. You can see it's a troublesome period for this aircraft, remembering at the end of the day that this is meant to be a new plane really entering its prime, but instead for many airlines, these are aircraft on the ground, and it is why precisely we're seeing companies such as Air Austral, who never had quite a large commitment to the series, cut their losses. They've had enough. They're moving to something that will be, hopefully for them, more reliable. Over to the next story, where Swiss's new era has firmly commenced, with the entry into service of their newest aircraft commencing at the end of last month. That is the A350. The flight operating as Alex 2152 from a departure at the airline's home at 7:11 in the morning carried 233 passengers. Moving forward, in the more short term, Swiss confirms the aircraft will be deployed to select European destinations, and this will allow for pilot conversion training, something that is very common when we see a new aircraft model enter into an airline's operations. There will be a crew familiarization period before it will eventually fly on long-haul operations if it is a wide-body plane. That is exactly why the likes of Dusseldorf, Malaga, and Hanover will initially welcome the aircraft, but from November 20, it'll make its formal debut on long-haul passenger flights, with Boston set to be the first market to receive the jet. Given that introducing any fleet type is a major undertaking, the airline's chief operating officer has said it is paramount that they take a measured approach to ensuring the jet's entry into service remains as smooth as possible, but also as safe as possible. For Swiss, the 350 is described as an embodiment of premium and sustainable travel in a bid by remembering the Lufthansa Group to elevate its flying and better offer to passengers while lowering emissions, improving its bottom line, and just being more efficient. The arrival of the A350s will pave the way for Swiss to truly become that, and that is more efficient, with 10 A350-900s entering the fleet by 2031. The addition of the state-of-the-art long long-haul product will unfortunately, and it pains me to say this as an aviation enthusiast, but mean we will have to say goodbye to the Airbus A340. That is the disappearance eventually of another quad-engine plane in our industry. Soon we will really only have twin-engined aircraft, and while it is for the better of the airlines, I think for a lot of us that love our aircraft, it is something that is hard to come to terms with. Over to the final story in today's recap, that sits with American Airlines, which are moving ahead with the renewal of their Boeing 777 fleet. The US carrier is looking specifically at the 777-200 with a planned retrofit of the widebody as they seek to increase premium seating options for their passengers. The airline's CFO confirmed the developments during their quarterly earnings call, noting that it is scaling up the flagship product. So as part of the retrofit, there'll be a 25% increase in lie-flat and premium economy seating, with the planes to come with in-flight seatback entertainment screens. American Airlines' decision to enhance its premium flying across its existing platform is not uncommon among airlines looking to elevate their premium offerings, to find ways to generate more revenue and offer passengers more choice in upper classes on specific routes. Additionally, the retrofit can be viewed as a way to give an existing aircraft a bit of a fresh lease of life. As planes age, their cabins installed or retrofitted 10 years earlier can be outdated in comparison to competitors' products on the same routes. Moreover, we know American Airlines wants to continue to update its fleet with the latest cabins, just really to be honest, and with this there will be greater harmony across the day-to-day operation, irrespective of the route, which does then therefore necessitate the continued investment in the fleet and maintenance of some of the older jets to bring them up to standard. With CapEx requirements for 2030 already outlined, the airline does believe that the 777-200 investment will pay off in due course, and it also means that the 777-200s will stay in the airline's fleet for some time, as they feel this is the perfect aircraft to give them the much needed reprieve from the pressure of newer models being delayed. And we have the confirmation that if there are any unforeseen change of circumstances, these planes will continue flying well into the 2030s. Let me know your thoughts on today's industry recap down below in the comments. Thank you very much for your support. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.